Rolling.
Is rolling in the wind.
The answer, my friend.
Is blowing in the
Oh,
wind.
God help us.
The answer is blowing in the wind.
Okay, so
We're missing someone.
I think Aureli's going to join us at some point.
She's really busy. It's okay. I understand.
All right, so can everyone state their name and what school they're going to now?
My name is Kyle Knanen. I am currently attending Tulane University.
I am Juan Luis Romero Sosa. I am attending University of California, UCLA. That's pretty weird. UCLA. You could edit that, Alex.
My name is Kano Imamura, and I am attending Cal.
My name is Aurelie Diaz, and I'm attending Brown University.
Okay, so can you shut the door? So I asked you to be here today because you guys had the joy of starting Link Learning Project when you were what, juniors?
Sophomores, yeah.
Oh, you did a Link Learning in sophomore year?
Yes.
What did you do?
Yeah, we did wasn't it Holocaust thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Holocaust.
okay, I gotcha. Can you describe could you define what Link Learning is? What is a Link Learning project? In your mind as a student here at LASA, what was the point of it?
Well, to me, when I was a student here on LASA, Link Learning was the project that tied all the classes together.
Mm-hmm.
Usually students don't see how classes support each other and how they build on each other's foundations. So Link Learning is there to remind us that even science classes could interrelate to English. And even social classes could interrelate to science and stuff like that. That's for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was basically that. I also feel like it was important as we attend a theater school that there isn't like a line between like theater and then general education stuff. So Link Learning served to like combine the two and show that there was unity among the school as a whole.
I have basically the same thought on it as them. I guess it did help me see that my English class wasn't just English. I could use it for science. I could use my science class to help me with my social studies or stuff like that.
And I think another component of it, as you grow older, at least here in LASA, the design kids were separate from the theater kids, the acting kids, and it was this project that pretty much brought us together and allowed us to work together in the groups.
So that sounds pretty positive. But was there anything that you found that was challenging when you were working on those projects? And you can be honest. Was there something that you felt could be different, or that you would have changed while you were here?
I think because we were pretty new to it, everybody was very new to it, we didn't really manage time the best way we could have done it. I feel like sometimes it was very rushed, or we didn't know about a project until 2 days before it was due, and then we have to take times from classes to work on it in class rather than working it outside of class and whatever. So I guess because we're just tasting the waters really, and then my hope is that with time, both the students and teachers are gonna get better organizing everything.
Okay.
I think it was the most trouble was just the students that didn't really want to do anything. It was mostly wrangling them in, giving them something to do, and so you don't have to take on more work for your group.
But I feel like that's just a general thing. I think that happens for every group, for every group work you do. And I mean, Link Learning is a very, very big important part of your grade, so it adds even more pressure. But I feel like that happens in every kind of group activity you do.
What I vaguely remember is sometimes feeling that certain subjects were kind of forced into the general theme of it. So sometimes with the ragtime thing, right?
Yeah.
With the ragtime thing where we talked about the chemistry aspect of that was we took certain scenes and explained how it could have happened.
That was interesting.
Was it?
But yeah.
I know I have a vague memory of it feeling forced.
I feel like
something else.
the problem with stuff like that is that our foundations in those subjects were not that great, really, because I remember in ragtime there was a part where we had to look at a dead horse in the middle of the street that exploded because of how hot it was. But we didn't really understand the whole thing that's happening inside of that horse's corpse. So we didn't really see like how the heat affects the horse exploding. And
So
stuff.
that's what we learned. Like, I mean, through the project, we learned that, like, through pressure, like, it expanded and eventually blew up. And that was the point, I could think, of the chemistry aspect of that. What I felt more forced was, like, in 10th grade, we did the Holocaust. And I feel like we did, like, a section where we did, like, the statistics of, like, people that died.
Oh, for math?
Yeah, for math.
Yeah.
And that was, like, the math aspect.
Oh, you just did stats?
I guess it helped for the monologues if you wanted to include some stats, because it was in the final project was like performing a monologue, but that's what I feel was forced. But
I think my issue with the chemistry thing was that it didn't tie into any other aspects of the Ultimate Link Learning project, which I can't remember what it was, but
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it didn't tie into any other.
Right,
Yeah.
because
Learning
that was the
linked.
pitch. Remember
Yeah.
that? You had a pitch to money. You know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it was
yeah.
more like theater.
So it didn't.
Yeah, that
It
didn't
was,
seem
it was more
Yeah.
theater focused than anything else.
I do remember, Kyle, one time you said that, you know, because we were just like you said, we were testing the waters of Link Learning. And I remember one day you said, I like this because I don't have to do 4 different projects. I can do one project and it's for everything. And I distinctly remember, in fact, I quote you all the time when we were talking about Link Learning. Yeah.
Some of them were very good, I thought.
Yeah.
Like the one where the computer one we did.
Oh yeah.
That was a lot of fun, like
Yeah.
researching for it. And
Yeah,
it
that's
was
because
like,
it was like the 3 of us in one group.
yeah, but it was
Yeah,
like,
that group was stacked. Yeah. Yeah, that was there.
I saw that and I thought,
And,
Wait,
really?
did this happen?
that's like
Are
a
you
dream
sure?
group right there. It's like
and I want to say that it happened because when Mr. Richardson was doing it, he just said, okay, I just need 3 kids from AP to be in here. And so he just randomly took 3 kids and they happened to be you 3, which just was not, yeah, it was stacked. Does
it's a
anyone,
fun project.
it was a fun part. Does anyone do you guys still have that? Because I don't think I have.
I think Alex has it.
I
Is that
erased my
okay?
computer.
What
Sorry.
It was
Alex
the computer,
has
the
it, like-
60-minute segment?
Oh, but we did it in my computer. We didn't use it.
60
It was
minus
in my computer,
55.
yeah. Like they bought me a
Oh,
hard drive for it
the-
because I had too
the
much
video.
footage.
I did.
Yeah. Theirs was really good, but it was the
I don't
3 of
think I
them.
have it.
I think Alex does. Okay, I have another question. If you were to, if you could identify skills that you learned from Link Learning, from your Link Learning project, what would those skills be?
Leadership.
Okay,
Communication.
okay.
I was going to say communication. Great minds.
Collaboration.
Collaboration.
Understanding, really.
Critical thinking.
Teamwork.
Go, lots to go.
Synergy.
What are the 6 pillars of lasagna?
Say again?
What are the 6 pillars of lasagna?
They've changed this year, so I can't remember. I can't remember last year's.
We're finding our
And I don't
voice
remember
now.
the-
Yeah, we
Yeah.
found our voices.
Yeah, you definitely found your
Your
voice.
SDRS later.
Without a microphone.
Okay, so I want to know this. So, have you used those skills in your college careers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could say so. We have group projects, and definitely having experience in group projects helps with future group projects be a smoother, like, project working experience.
I feel like one of the skills I've used a lot is moving people to actually do stuff. I haven't personally been in any group projects as of yet, but I am part of study groups. And I'm pretty much the one who makes sure everybody's there for the study group and that we're helping each other out. So I'm the one that, like, just as I did here in Lhasa for the Link Learning, I had to call everybody. It's like, hey, you're coming to the group study. We need you, yada yada. Just as I did for that, I did for my Link Learning. So, you know, mobilizing people to come to one place. I'm pretty good at that. And I think the Link Learning project really helped me out with that, I thought.
Yeah, I definitely have used those because when we work on productions, we're working in big groups. So I definitely have to, like, communicate to the people above me. I have to communicate to the crew that's working for me. And I have to manage how I'm going to split up their time and every aspect of that, the element we're building.
Can you explain? You're not going really to a traditional school. Can you explain to me the kind of school you go to?
Cal Arts is a art school, and so when my program is technical direction, which is building sets. So we we get there and we're thrown in. We're automatically assigned like in each production we get assigned a scenic element to build. So we automatically get assigned a scenic element under a master's student, so we're assisting a master's student. And they give us work to do, and then we then run work study that builds it for us. And we tell them what has gotten done, and then what, if we're on track, if we're behind, what our schedule is like.
So you don't really have traditional classes like, let's say, like Juan Luis and
No,
like
we
the other
don't.
three that are sitting here.
No, we don't have like a typical like chemistry class or English class. We have, most of our classes have to do with our major. So I have like an AutoCAD class with computer drafting. I have a welding class, a carpentry class, stuff like that. And then my like critical studies classes are, I had a class on reggae music. And then we had I had a class that was like critical writing, and we just wrote about like different struggles in society.
Okay.
What,
Oh, what was
the question?
what was the question?
Well, if
Oh,
we have used the skills.
have you used any of these skills? You know, the skills that you talked about that you took away from Link Learning or that you gained from Link Learning.
Use them.
Have you used those at Brown?
I would say I have. I think like the general where like you have to tie everything together. I've taken a lot of classes, and when I'm writing an essay, I find myself using certain aspects of another class in the essay, and I feel like that helps, bring in another view or another light on the subject that I'm writing about, which I think we did a lot in Link Learning, because we had to include all these different like perspectives and like topics and like put them together into one group in one project.
Yeah, piggybacking on that a little bit. It's like in college you see a little bit more, but since high school, it's nice to start in high school where you see it's like, oh, so that's why math matters. It's like, oh, that's why English matters, because you realize that you can do something. You can write an essay you can write a paper for math if you don't know any English, or you're not good at writing paragraphs and stuff like that, If you're doing a research paper for your math class and you're doing it about a scientific thing, you need science to understand all that stuff. So, like when I was taking English Composition 3 in UCLA, they told me to write an research paper.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used like math and like science, and I wrote it and made sure it was very good in English and stuff like that. So like I think in college they give us more things that put everything together, but it was nice to get a head start with the Link Learning. I was used to it by now, and I did pretty good in my paper because I knew how to connect everything together.
So Link Learning takes you away from the compartments, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, and brings up. Yeah. These are questions from Miss Aon. I think we've already answered them, but when you walked away from LASA, did Link Learning give you an advantage, and what would it be? Did we already answer that pretty much?
Yeah.
I mean, the skills that we learned.
Applied skills. So
Yeah.
eventually we have skills to apply.
Like we get stuff done.
Yeah.
But do you think you would have gotten I mean, let's face it, you guys are top students. Do you think that you would have gotten stuff done with or without Link Learning? I mean, without Link Learning, did
Well,
it?
it was definitely a challenge. I mean, I think even if like, you're not the top student or whatever, like it was still a challenge. And I feel like whatever kind of student, it was still going to be a challenge. Like the whole tying things together and like working in a group, and especially in a project that is like so critical to your grade. I think it just raises the stakes a lot, and it's a challenge that we all have to take.
It's not like we just were born like top students or whatever. It's all that through like doing a lot of work and like doing a lot of big projects. So it's like the fact that we freak out about it and we need to make sure everything is correct and whatever. So like again, kind of like she said, is because it was such a big deal, the Link Learning project. We just got used to it, I guess. We were introduced to stuff like that.
I wonder if putting you in that stress position has been helpful when you've been in college. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, I can't. I'm sure you're stressed out all the time trying to get stuff done.
Nights, what else?
He was just telling us that he didn't sleep for like 3 days.
Yeah, my first semester, we had a welding project due, and I was like, I did my work. I scheduled my work study so that I was working like 20 hours a week that week, which was not smart. You know? So I didn't have, and then I had to go to class, and I had homework for other classes. So I was like, I had to save my welding project for last. So I had to stay up like 3 nights just to get my welding project done. I got like 2 hours of sleep, 3 nights.
Yeah, I'm going to be in that very position tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's not good. If you could, what would you have added? If you could have added something to the Link Learning, not just the project, but like just like to the experience, I guess. What would it be? Thank you for helping with the words. If you could have added something, or would you have added anything?
Give me a moment.
Okay, you get a moment. That's what we'll edit this.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Let me rephrase that. Mr. Martinez will edit it.
cool. I could
Well,
help you
I
out.
mean, since I guess like some of the problems that we had, well, that were mentioned was that like it felt like some of the subjects were forced. Maybe have some more like thought out projects that really do look at a single thing in different perspectives in every class, and it's not so forced or like not so obviously like part of the project.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I feel like the teachers are kind of being put in the spot when they have to think about these projects for Link Learning, because there's the idea of Link Learning that's going around, but it's not like there's a certain like how to do it, or like you know what I mean? It's like the teachers have to come out with it out of nothing. You have to be like, okay, we need to find a project that gets all these 4 classes, put them together, and then we have to do something at the end. What do we do? And then just them breaking their heads, and they just start putting their like teachers on the spot, and that's not nice.
No.
I think.
That's
So,
essentially
like,
going to be the focus of my paper.
if I could change something, I guess I will like help these teachers somehow.
Right.
I don't know what the somehow is.
Is that?
What?
Continue.
No, but like because like I saw that a lot. It was like teachers fighting each other because it's like, oh, this project doesn't really have this and this project doesn't really have that. It's not like there's like I don't want to say guidelines because like guidelines is such like a totalitarian way of saying it, but it's like
College.
just like it's just like so like a something you could use to like build from,
Yeah, it would have been nice to have had a
That-
foundation.
It's such a
Yeah.
broad concept that you have to like make something out of it, but
Yeah, you talked earlier about how new this is and how like people are just making it up, and something like that comes from time as it develops. Like
Yeah.
future teachers will have that because the teachers that did it now were trying
Suffer.
yeah.
Maybe setting
Basically.
down like the
Yeah.
projects and like all the elements in like a book that you can hand off to like future
Or-
generation of teachers so that
Like
they know.
collecting all the syllabus.
No, I
What's
want them to
worse?
suffer too.
No, okay.
Or maybe like I don't know how possible this is, but like before school starts, like have like a meeting on just Link Learning between teachers, and if it's possible, we have like an alumni or something to come by and like bring some like ideas that they may have. But like you guys have taken like time, like after classes, teachers have to like come together and for those meetings and whatever. Maybe like when there's a vacation, a paid meeting for teachers where they can talk about.
Well, you're a dreamer.
Where they can talk about Link Learning. I don't know, just something so
In
like they're
Hawaii,
organized.
like in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Something where they're
a
organized.
summit in Hawaii.
Before
Twice
school.
a-
Yeah.
Business class flight.
So they're
some
organized.
resorts.
They're organized before school
on the
starts.
Yeah, no, those are great. Those are great. Trust me, those are good, and it's good to hear coming from people that,
Teachers are
aren't
suffering.
teachers.
Our teachers.
There's a lot of suffering. So, so that's something you would add. What would you change? I think we already answered
You
it.
said something really
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Okay. Anything else you'd like to say to the people out there? Who knows? It's just going to be one guy. Going to see this. Let me ask you this: do you think we should continue Link Learning for the children that are coming? Do you think it should be something that we could? Do you think we should keep it in our curriculum?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so. Because with us, it was brand new, so it was like we're still trying to get around. Like how do we do this and all that. I think as time comes, it'll continually get better and smoother.
And I feel like we've always had that. I remember in 9th grade when we didn't have Link Learning officially. our geography class and our English class still did like a joint project, and I mean that was like I think the beginnings of learning where you're joining both classes and like learning the same things. So I mean I feel like it works, but it's just like just try not to force certain subjects there.
I do think that link learning is helpful. It might be painful at the time when you're doing it, but at the end of the day, like you learn from painful experiences. You know, so
I couldn't have said it better. Kyle, last words.
I agree.
Perfect.
let the house stand. A house united, what is it?
Hey.
All right, how do we?
I feel like it's smart.
I forgot to. A house
That's
united.
great.
Come on.